What's up? It's your boy Carcino, and let's get into it. This is the truth behind the beef with Slick Rick and Humpty Hump. I know y'all probably like, huh? How did this happen? Let's just say there was a time when Slick Rick was the ruler. He had the most charismatic appeal that was universal in hip hop. But let's just say he didn't get to enjoy the fame. When Slick Rick came out with a children's story, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, the storytelling, he captured a whole new audience because he didn't sound like anybody else. Now, he used to rap with Dana Dane, and Dana Dane came out with a hit album because he sounded like Slick Rick. He started changing his voice to sound like Slick Rick. Slick Rick was from the UK, so he always had his slang. He always had his own language. Yeah, crumbs. It was a rubble double. 5 minutes it lasted. All nasal. But it was Slick Rick. And Slick was a hit right away. The album took off. Everybody loved it. And Slick Rick was on his way to being and he's one of Russell Simmons' favorites. Like Russell loves Slick Rick. He's like, man, I love Rick, man. Rick be speaking that gangster it. He was speaking that real street it. Man, I love Rick. Yeah, I can listen to Rick all day because see, Rick and I, we're similar, man. Because I know what Rick be talking about. Half his kids and stuff in the streets, they don't understand what Rick be talking about. I be knowing what Rick be talking about, man. That's why he's my kind of rapper. So he put Slick Rick on the Run DMC tour, and Slick Rick would just open up with like 2 songs and treat him like a prostitute. Was like one of his favorites, and everybody cracks up laughing listening to the story, and that was like his calling card. So naturally, it spread it from one coast, where Slick's from the East Coast, all the way over to the West Coast, because the West Coast wasn't really known for hip hop. During that time, the West Coast was trying to get into hip hop and make their own thing. It was secondary, really, to them. Where the East Coast is starting to like really, they all emerge. West Coast was more about the Gap Band, Parliament, Funk. They had their own style and what they was listening to, scratches and mixes and stuff like that. But they were listening to the hip hop over there, and Slick Rick was like, "Hey, that was a lot of people's thing over there, especially in the Bay Area." So when Digital Underground started coming out making their type of music, they didn't want to sound like any of the other battle rappers. They were a musical band. They're like, look, we're a band, and this is what we do. So we ain't finna go down this road everybody else is going. So when they had Do What You Like and came out with the video, he just was acting silly with a character with the fake nose and everything, holding a cigar, stogie, like Groucho Marx or something. And when I first saw him, that's what I was thinking of, Groucho with the stogie and with the glasses and stuff. But they made him make a name for the character, and once they did that, they kind of tapped into something that they probably didn't know what they were doing. So he just made a character name for him, put some jewelry on the guy, and tried to dress him up fancy, and just called the guy Humpty. It was like, his name is Humpty Hump. And he made a song. And they was like, man, it's hot. Make a, you know, we need a commercial song for the dude. People love him. Then the Humpty Dance was born. and like 89. That's something. And once the Humpty Dance came out, it was over. So next thing you know, the Humpty Hump videos out. Humpty's rapping. They say, Humpty, you look like MC Hammer on crack, Humpty. It's okay. I like my old man Humpty. You know, once he started doing all that, Slick Rick saw that and was like, who is this? You know, it wasn't a very like, oh, this is funny. He was upset. He was pissed. Because he said, on the West Coast, they're out there trying to make fun of Slick Rick with this imitation. He's trying to clown me. So now it's looking like Shock G, who plays Humpty Hump, is out here clowning him. And he was like, and it was a bad situation. It really was gonna get bad. They didn't know how bad Slick Rick was offended by the situation until later on. Because from what I've been told, Slick was, waiting to see these dudes. Like waiting to see them. Like, I can't wait till they come to town. But Slick ran into a lot of problems that year. He was having problems internally with his family. Uh, then he ended up getting arrested, and he was gone just that quick. And he's locked up. He's focused on his album, and he had no time to devote to Humpty Hump the way he wanted to. But he was very offended. And I think when they say Shock learned that Rick was kind of offended by Humpty Hump. And he wanted to tell him, like, no, he inspired that alter ego character, like he was one of the main influences. But it was Groucho, it was a lot of Benny Hill, a lot of, weirdness into him. But he was like, no, it wasn't a shot at Slick Rick. He was like the voice. I could see how you think that because of the voice, but no, I didn't want to take a shot at him. No, we just having fun on stage, but never that. And since then, like Shock just retired him on like no nose job. I think that was the last time we saw Humpty. Um, no, he only put the glasses on because when they were making the video for "Do What You Like," when they were making that video, he burnt his nose. He burnt his nose on like he was cooking or something, and ended up burning his nose. So he put on some glasses with a Groucho nose on when they was making the video, like with the nose on it and stuff. So when he put that on in the video, people was just like, "Oh wow, like who was that guy?" And it ended up just becoming a character, man. Well, you got to realize that Shock G, he made a name, man, and it just stuck. But because Slick had so much to deal with, at the time, that was it. But ever since then, like since Slick been out, they've actually met and talked and stuff, and he always get praise to Slick Rick. He even did a happy birthday to Slick Rick. Like Humpty Hump says happy birthday to Slick Rick, you know. But it was at that time, it was like for us who hanging on by every thread. We didn't have Facebook, we didn't have anything. We only had the television in the streets. That's what was going on. We had magazines too. That's what got the news across the waters. But that was it. We were limited. So DJs, magazines, television in the streets is how we got everything done. And that's it, really. That's really just the gist of it. Just a misunderstanding, which mostly how everything else happens in the world. But anyway, if you want to support the page, we appreciate it. Just click the link in the description box, leave a super chat. We appreciate the love, and we're out.